Hi, I'm Lars from All About Samsung, and today we're gonna have a first hands-on with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 9. After the Note 7 disaster, Samsung had a huge comeback with the Galaxy S8 and Galaxy Note 8. But this year, Samsung had to face a lot of negative feedback about the Galaxy S9 as well. The smartphone is perfectly fine, but a lot of people have said that there are only minor differences between the Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy S9. For the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, now there were a lot of rumors ahead of the announcement about a bigger battery, a new S Pen and a better camera. What the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is all about? Well, let's find out. Let's go. So here I got the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Actually in two colors. It's one Galaxy Note 9 in ocean blue and one Galaxy Note 9 in midnight black. I'll come back to the colors later. First about the design. On the first look, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 looks quite familiar. Actually, there are only small differences to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 on the front. On the front of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, now you have a 6.4-inch AMOLED screen with a resolution of 2960 to 1440 pixel. That's actually the same resolution as found on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, but again, Samsung is using by default a resolution of 2220 by 1080 pixel to minimize the battery drain. And the rest of the front is quite similar to the Galaxy Note 8. Again, you have an edged screen like on the Galaxy S8 or Galaxy S9 or Galaxy Note 9, but it looks a bit more rectangular than it was the case of on the Galaxy S8. There's no logo on the front, and again, there's no home button on the front. But you do have a virtual home button on the always on display. There's a little white rectangular over here, as you have seen it before on the Galaxy S8 or Note 8. And if you press it, then the Note 9 wakes up and you can use it. On the front, there are only small changes, as I said, but there is a change because the display is now 6.4 inches. On the Note 8, it was 6.3 inches. That was achieved by minimizing the frame below the display. This frame is slightly thinner than the frame on the Galaxy Note 8, but that's it. There's no other difference on the front. No home button, no real home button with fingerprint scanner. You do have a fingerprint scanner only on the back side. On the back side, you do see more difference to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, because here Samsung is still using a camera in a horizontal position other than on the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. But it's the very same camera as on the Galaxy S9 Plus, just tilted by 90 degrees. This is the main camera, this is a telephoto lens, and below the camera you do have a fingerprint scanner. This is in a way better position than it was the case for the Note 8. On the Note 8, the fingerprint scanner was found over here, and you couldn't use it actually. On the Note 9, this is way better, so if you're using the Galaxy Note 9 and you want to reach the fingerprint scanner, it's not as impossible as it was the case on the Note 8. Still, it's a large device, so for people with short fingers, it still might be an issue. The rest of the backside looks quite familiar as well. You do have edged glass on the backside as well. It's Gorilla Glass 5, the same as on the front. And you do have two colors here and other colors worldwide. Actually, for Europe, or at least Germany, you only have two colors, which is midnight black and the ocean blue. In the rest of the world, there will also be a copper version of the Note 9 and also a purple version. But unfortunately, at the moment, they won't be available in Germany. If you turn the device again, you see the frame. And I have to say, for me, my personal favorite is the frame of the Galaxy Note 9. Because on the Note 8, the frame was glossy. Now it is dull, and Samsung says that it's now diamond cutted. So here it's a bit more sharp than it was the case on the Galaxy Note 8. On the right side, you do have a power button. On the top, you do have a micro SD card and SIM card slot. On the left side, you have the volume key and, of course, the dedicated Bixby button as found on the Note 8 and on the S8. And on the bottom, you do have a 3.5mm jack, a Type-C USB connector, a speaker, and the S Pen. And for the S Pen, I have to say, this might be the very most favorite of the device, because on the black Galaxy Note 9, the S Pen looks just like an S Pen. There's no big difference. I'll come back to the S Pen later. But on the blue Galaxy Note 9, there's a pearl yellow called S Pen inside. And this looks quite fantastic. I have to say that this color combination will rock the market. And I think most people make photos and videos just about this color combination. All in all, I have to say that I really do like the design of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. It looks quite similar to the Note 8. but there are some smaller differences. I do like the front, I do like the back side, especially that now the fingerprint scanner is a better position, and Samsung again is using double-edged glass on the front and on the back side to make the frame slim. So the frame is made out of aluminum 7000, which is quite a durable aluminum, and Samsung had achieved an IP68 rating again for the Galaxy Note 9. The only downside of the whole thing is that the size of the display, a large battery and a metal frame on the scale is quite heavy. The Galaxy Note 9 puts 201 gram on the scale. That's quite a lot, but I have to say that for me, it's not uncomfortable to hold. Enough about the design, now about the hardware. The Samsung Note series was always a Galaxy S series plus X, so a little bit more than the S series, and of course with the S Pen. On the Galaxy Note 9 it's the same. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with an Exynos 9810 Octa, which is the same SoC as found on the Galaxy S9 or in some markets the Snapdragon 845. It's quite a powerful SoC, so the difference between the Snapdragon and the Exynos version is not too big at all. So the SoC is the same, but if you head to the My Files folder, you see that you do have an internal storage of 128 GB, and there will also be a version with 512 GB available. And both can be, of course, expanded by using a micro SD card up to 512 GB. So all in all, with the biggest version of the Galaxy Note 9 and a 512 GB micro SD card, you can achieve up to 1 TB of storage in your smartphone. That's quite nice, right? On the Galaxy Note 9 with 512 GB of storage, you do have 8 GB of memory. On the Note 9 with 128 GB of storage, you only have 6 GB. I have to say that I don't get why Samsung makes this difference between the devices, but for me, it just doesn't make a big difference in normal usage. What's more important is that if you head to the settings and down there on the About Phone and the battery information, you see that the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 comes with a battery of 4000 mAh. That's one of the largest batteries out there in a smartphone, so I'd say the battery should be good for at least 1 day or maybe 2. In terms of software, Samsung is using Android in the iteration 8.1, so it's Android Oreo. If there will be an update of Android 9.0 Pie is not yet sure. I think there will be an update, but it's a matter of time. And Samsung is using the Samsung Experience 9.5. So this is Samsung's own UI, and I have to say that I really do like it. If you switch down the notification menu, you see everything is bright and all the toggles do look nice. If you swipe up or swipe down on the home screen, you open up the app drawer. If you don't want to use that, you can go to the home screen settings and go for the app button and show a dedicated apps button. So if you go back to the home screen now, you see that there is now a dedicated button just for the apps. If you switch to the left, you open up Bixby, or you can just press the dedicated Bixby button. I don't like Bixby at all, but if you want to use it, it's quite easy to reach, and I would be good just by reaching it through the home screen. Back on the software, you also see in the settings that Samsung is using the same security settings as found on the Galaxy S9. So now you can combine the face recognition and the iris scanner, and of course the fingerprint scanner is improved. You can set up the fingerprint scanner by setting up a pin or a pattern first. I'll use 1111 for the test, and then you have to register your fingerprint by swiping on the sensor once. So you just go there, swipe down once, and you're almost there. So it's 100%. You just swipe over there. And the fingerprint scanner is actually quite good. So you can try it just by tapping on it, and it's, I'd say, okay to reach. Not perfect, not as good as on the Galaxy S9, but I would say okay to reach. And if you combine it with the face recognition, which is basically a selfie security method found on the Galaxy S9 or S8. So just taking a selfie, looking in the camera, and there you can see my face got registered, and I can use it with a faster recognition, which is not that safe, but it's quite fast. And you go back to the home screen, lock the device, and press on the virtual home screen. You see it unlocks very fast. But you can also go to the settings and use the iris scanner as well. Therefore, you have to again set up a pin, and then you have to stare in the iris scanner over there. There's a dedicated LED, infrared LED, and a camera with 3.7 megapixels, and you have to stare directly into it. Then the iris will be scanned, And then you can combine the iris scan with the face recognition to make sure that the phone will recognize your face or your eyes even when it's dark outside. So if there are bright conditions like here, it's quite good to use the face recognition because it's fast. And if you want to use the face recognition at night, it's not that good because it's basically using the front camera, so it's better to use the iris scan. And therefore you can combine that to the intelligent scan unlock, and then if you enable the device, your face or your eyes are getting scanned, and you can also use the fingerprint scanner in a combination of that. For the rest of the software, you have basically the same menu as found on the Galaxy S9, so you have the secure folder, the game launcher, and stuff like this. But if you go to the toggles, you see that you do have Dolby Atmos as well, and the edge lighting, which is basically a notification switching on the edge light if you get a WhatsApp message as an example. The most important feature about the Galaxy Note 9 is of course the S Pen. I mean, it's the signature feature of the whole Note series, and if you enable, you see the S Pen menu. This is the S Pen, and it's quite similar to the S Pen of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, at least in terms of its style. So it's quite long, and you can click this part, and it fits really good in your hand. If you're choosing to use the S Pen when the device is actually switched off, you can write on the screen of memo. This is called the screen of memo, so there are only a few pixels actually active and you can write on it. A little gimmick is that this color fits the color of the S Pen of the Note 9. You can save it to notes. Back on the home screen, the S Pen menu is basically the same as found on the Note 8. So if you're going over the menu, you see you can create a note. Just by writing on the screen, you have 4096 different levels of pressure sensitivity. So it's the same S Pen in that terms. You can also see all your notes. You can do Smart Select, which is basically a local screenshot, and you can also record a GIF by using the the Smart Select option over here. I'll show that in the full review later. You can also do a screen write. You can do a live message, which is an animated writing on the screen. I don't like this feature that much because it's in most cases for me useless. And you can use the translate option, which can be useful in some situations. So I could translate from English to German if I'd be connected to the internet right here, just by hovering over the messages over here. But there's no network connected right now. So this is basically the same menu as found on the Galaxy Note 8. But there's something more about the S Pen of the Galaxy Note 9, because now Samsung is using Bluetooth in the S Pen. They achieved that by putting a little battery in the S Pen, and it's capable of being charged within 40 seconds and then holds up to 30 minutes to use Bluetooth. And there's a special menu for that. If you go to the settings and there into the advanced features, you can go to the S Pen menu, and in the S Pen menu you can enable the S Pen remote, which is basically a function for Bluetooth on the S Pen. If you enable the S Pen remote, you can choose what the S Pen will do if you click the button on the S Pen. So if you hold down the pen button, you will open up the camera, and in the camera I can say that it takes a picture or it switches the camera. In the gallery I can also say next item if I'm doing a presentation, and even in PowerPoint it's switching to the next slide, or if you double tap as an example, you can switch back to the slide before. And this is actually quite useful. So as an example, if I press down the button long, I open up the camera. There I am, and if I double tap the button, I switch back to the main camera. Another 2 taps on the button and I'm back in the selfie camera. And if I'm just pressing one time the button now, I just take a picture, and that's it. So if I'm going back in the gallery, now you see a picture. It's quite easy to use that. It's not a big feature, but for some situations and certain people, this actually might be useful, and I really do like the feature. So now about the camera of the Galaxy Note 9. If you see on the back, it's basically the same camera as found on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, but now tilted by 90 degrees to make it horizontal, and it's actually quite good. The main camera has 12 megapixel dual pixels and an adjustable aperture of f1.5 or f2.4, and there's a second lens with double the focal length to have a 2 times optical zoom. Below that, there's the fingerprint scanner, as I told you. If you go back and head into the camera, you see that the camera is the same camera as found on the Samsung Galaxy S9. So it delivers very good picture quality, and you can record video pictures with 12 megapixels and videos with up to UHD resolution with 60 frames per second, which delivers a very good quality, and of course optical image stabilization. But you can also go back and into the selfie mode, and there go for selfie focus, which will blur out the background, and for the white selfie, which is basically good for groups. There you can just tilt the camera while doing a selfie, and you can go for the AR emoji. The AR emoji was introduced with the Samsung Galaxy S9 and is basically Samsung's answer to Apple's Animoji. And you can create an own emoji just by taking a selfie. Then the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 will just recognize your face and will create an emoji out of that. It takes some time. Once it's done, you can save it and you can adjust it, of course. And then you can use your very own emoji in the AR emoji menu of the camera. Now the emoji is created, and then you can switch on the AR emoji, and there I am talking to you. And you can see I can prove that by using another Galaxy Note 9, and you see everything is working quite good. So the camera of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is one of the best in the industry, and Samsung is using a different thing, because on the Huawei P20 Pro and even the LG G7 ThinQ, there's now an AI found in the camera. Samsung says that there's no AI in the camera, but they say that they improved the whole camera automatic. So it will recognize if you take a picture of a tree as an example. So it will just see what you're actually taking a picture of, and then might improve your picture or even tell you what you're taking a picture of. So sometimes there's a little icon on the camera, but I have to say that it's not even close to what the camera of the Huawei P20 Pro can deliver in that situation, even though the camera of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is the same camera as found on the Samsung Galaxy S9, so it's one of the very best cameras out there. So this was the first hands-on of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 9, and I have to say that I really do like the device. I was a huge fan of the first Samsung Galaxy Note, and till today I'm still a big fan of the Note series. For the Samsung Galaxy S9, I was a bit skeptical because there were only minor differences to the Samsung Galaxy S8. For the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, I have to say that for me the differences to the Galaxy Note 8 are very important. The battery is now with 4000 milliamp, one of the biggest in the whole class, so I'd say the battery is very good. The camera is now the camera of the Galaxy S9 Plus, so it's a very decent camera, and you have the new S Pen with Bluetooth on board. That's a bit of a gimmick, but it's still cool to have more functions on the S Pen. If you have any questions regarding the Galaxy Note 9, just let me know below in the comments. I'm Lars from All About Samsung. There are way more videos about to come, so follow us here on YouTube. See you next time. Bye.